sports as sports, sports as politics, you name it. We'll talk about it. Just put it out on the table. In fact, you can pick any word in the dictionary and we'll make a show about it. Give us a word.
Or at least make it racial. Is that what what's the guy from Abington said? You
Mike,
just take anything and make it racial, like school bus. I'm like, did you really have to pick school bus? Give us something hard. That wasn't hard.
It almost set you up for like a Dave Chappelle type skit.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, sitting across from me is Bishop Dwayne David Royster.
And sitting across from me is the Reverend Dr. Mark Kelly Tyler.
And the glue holding it all together is none other than Kawesa the Queen.
Kawesa.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Doing okay. Yeah.
That sounds like...
But that's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, outside of that, it really wasn't too bad.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
No potholes?
No potholes today.
Did I tell you that I don't know if I ever mentioned this during the last year, but I had a pothole that was so bad on a motorcycle that they had to total the motorcycle. And it didn't even go down.
Oh, wow.
Just like it blew out both tires.
Oh, wow.
Broke both rims, shattered the front end, and I was doing maybe 25 miles an hour.
Oh, wow, that's bad.
Maybe 25. I mean, because it was like I was a Yamaha FJR 1300 sport touring bike. It was like a '05. I mean, it wasn't like a new bike or anything, but it was in great condition. The guy bought it.
This is recent you did this.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was in this last year.
Oh,
and
wow.
But just like a pothole opened up and it was raining, and this is how bad it was. So I'm like kind of in a flow of traffic, and I realized after I did it, like why at the top of the hill there were like all these brake lights and flashers to the right.
Right.
So everybody was hitting it.
Oh.
And so when I pulled over, you kept hearing this, bah! And that was another tire. And that car pulls over. So I left, went home, got the truck, went to U-Haul, got a U-Haul trailer, got back. By the time I got back, so let's say when I left, maybe there were 5 or 6 cars up there. When I came back, there were about 25 or 30.
Oh, wow.
Tow trucks everywhere. The tow truck driver, he's going down like, "Are you okay, sir? Are you okay, ma'am?" I was like, what the?
Wow, where was this?
Oh, man, what's that street? When you come around the back way from Stenton and Paper Mill and trying to work your way around to Germantown, between Germantown and Stenton, a little
like
street.
Flowertown Road there or something like that, yeah.
Not that, but it's like a little street that connects
goes
all
to the
of
farms,
those streets.
right? You talking about goes to the farm?
No, it goes not before you can get to the farm. This is in Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like in Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, man, but it just opened up because of the rain. That's why I was asking Kawais about the rain. And so you couldn't see it because it was filled with water. And when I went back to look at it the next day, man, it was like maybe 3 or 4 inches high, but it was so jagged that it was just, I mean.
Tearing everything up.
So, I mean, nobody thought.
Philly Streets Department, you got some work to do.
Well, I did their job for them. I actually, on my way back, I saw some orange cones from a Philly Water Department site. And I just snatched one. And I reallocated it into the pothole so that people would stop blowing their tires out that night, because that's what we do.
Very generous of you. That was very generous.
Just like, I mean, how many, it's kind of common sense, isn't it?
Right.
Putting up structures so nobody else sees it. But that's one story of like thousands of people who have similar stories. I understand that there's supposed to be a fund that will replace your tires when that happens. I've never even wasted my time.
Oh, wow.
I can't even imagine the bureaucracy.
Lost the bike over it.
Well, man, my insurance covered it, so I wasn't worried about it. Because I'm one of the elites, Raphael. The elites have insurance. I'm waiting on that. I haven't even gone on Facebook. Are we up there?
Yes, we are on Facebook. I am on it now.
Hit the share button on Facebook. And if you're on YouTube as well, come on in. Hey, so let me just say, we were talking yesterday about kind of like Democrats and the need to redirect their fire from Joe Manchin to something a little bit more constructive that's going to really pay off. So Val Demings has announced, she's made it official.
You got to run for Senate?
Yep, we knew she was going to. But
Yeah.
Val Demings is going to be formidable. Came really to the national stage during the Trump impeachment. Former chief of police, I believe, of Orlando.
Yeah. First black woman police chief there.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of hard for him to paint her as like this radical out there trying to like, take away the police from old Floridians who want to be safe from like young, crazy Floridians. She's going to be hard for him to beat. Her husband is the mayor of Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a power couple. So it seems to me that this is the time, instead of worrying about a Joe Manchin, that you start talking about a Marco Rubio who tries to style himself as an anti-Trump person, but votes and does everything that Trump wants.
No, wait a minute. Rubio. So he talked a whole lot of trash on the campaign trail in 2012. 2016. 2016. I'm sorry. Talked a lot of trash about Trump and the hands and everything, right? But then he gets in office, and then there were actually numerous times Marco Rubio was basically kissing Donald Trump's ring, right? In terms of things that he said.
Say something else, but I'm sorry.
Well, no, I don't want an FCC violation. He was kissing his ring. He was lauding the president. He was standing up with the president on numerous issues. Both he and Ted Cruz did this, right? They flipped and all of a sudden became super Trumpers. Yep. So Rubio, and part of it is the deep Cuban base in Florida that staunchly Republican. And so he's got a bit of a challenge. I mean, here's the challenge with Florida, right? Florida, in terms of the ethnic population, racial populations there, is majority Latinx. And they have a strong Republican base in Florida. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. And it's now the home of Trump. So if Rubio continues to kiss the ring, Trump will come out and support him. And, I think it could be very, very tight race for them for the Senate.
Listen, I mean, if anybody's got a shot, Val Demings does, and if she can fire up her base in Florida, then but again, I say, so if you've got like a year, we're like less than a year and a half from that election in 2022, then it seems again to me like if you're gonna get free media for like raising sand about Republican obstruction, I should say, to Joe Biden's agenda, don't waste all that free media on your own, even if he's only half your own. I mean, again, he's right. We know he may even be less than half of a Democrat. Who knows? But occasionally you can count him as a vote. But I mean, here is a real opportunity for the Democratic Party to knock off somebody that seems like he can't be knocked off. And to get that seat and to swing it back. I mean, Florida is isn't it always like 50.1 to 49.9?
Yeah, it's tight. It's always tight there. Yeah, it's not like there's. I mean, well, in times past, Trump won big, but in other races there, I mean, Andrew Gillum lost the governor's race by like a couple of points, and now we also have a lot of returning citizens that have had some of their rights restored. They've had a lot of battles in terms of rights restoration for voting rights in Florida. So some of the folk did get their rights back. Some they've managed to take it back away again. But I mean, it should be helpful. I mean, here's the challenge with Val Demings on that, though, right? If you're a returning citizen, are you voting for the former police chief?
Well, again, I mean, if it's voting for the former police chief or Marco Rubio, and see, here's the thing.
I mean, the question is the policing. It's going to be people are going to ask her about policing, and that's where she's going to have to be. She's got to thread the needle.
Right, but listen, this is the part that just drives me crazy, right? So it's like you're going to nitpick her record. Granted, yes, she's the former head of the police department there, so that is definitely problematic in this moment for a Democrat. But again, it is a Democrat running against a Republican. I have no doubt that she is going to win in the primary. I just see it.
Easily.
Right, and that it will be her versus Marco Rubio. And so the very idea that on our side, that progressives and Democrats would say, well, I don't know about her because she used to be the police. Excuse me, Marco Rubio believes that the insurrection was a tourist trip, at least publicly.
Yes.
Like, how do you even, why do you, I mean, at this point, it is moot. And that's what I'm getting at, that it is time to begin to stop getting caught up in circular firing squads and instead, train and, and shouldn't use those kind of metaphors because, and illustrations because people run the wrong directions. But take your energy and instead of like sitting around talking about your friends, talk about the people who are trying to stop you and focus there for the next 13 or 14 months. And you might win a state that is pretty hard to win.
I think, well, I mean, that's actually possible. Florida actually goes back and forth oftentimes about their governor between Dems and Republicans. Now, I mean, their Dems are not progressives, right? They're moderates, but hey, it beats, like you said, it beats a Republican any day of the week. So, like, look, you might not win everything, but you're gonna get something out of it,
I'm just trying to tell you, that's exactly right. And by the way, the street was not. It was not. No, it's Hillcrest.
Oh, Hillcrest. Oh, yeah,
Hillcrest.
Sure.
I was coming back.
That's right. That's coming off Stanton Avenue all the way up into Germantown. Got you. Where the train station is, of the Chestnut Hill West train station is.
Hillcrest. So yeah, that's what it's it's one little street. Beautiful homes on the block, by the way. Yeah. But they looked out that night like, why is somebody having a party? honey, are the neighbors having a party? They're like about 100 cars out there.
Get down.
Did they not invite us? No, you got a pothole. Just destroying.
I mean, they might have thought it was a party because I'm sure somebody went through there with some 22s on and had the car blasting, probably some purple lights underneath the car, hit that pothole, and all you heard was thunk, bump, 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 bump. And they were like, "There's a party going on out here."
If what you just said was said by a different, like, morning show person on a different station, man, they'd be getting all kind of hate mail right now.
Yeah, they would be. But I can say it because I totally understand and know who that is.
Although I've seen my share of young white kids these days riding on 22s, playing bump to the bump to the bump.
I hear you.
So listen, also
it is American culture.
Hey, so real quick before we come back on the other side of break, we could talk about some of the local stuff that's going on. But I wanted to get your opinion on the New York City mayor's race.
Yes.
So Eric Adams, who's the president of the Brooklyn borough, he's running against Andrew Yang, our friend Maya Wiley, and some others. But he's a pretty conservative guy. Is that right?
I don't know as much about him as I do about Andrew Yang and Maya Wiley. So, actually, I mean, I've talked to our folk up in New York. So Power's got a sister organization called Faith in New York. And I've talked to some of the folk up there about it. But, I mean, most of everybody I know is backing Wiley. So.
Well, yeah, same here. But, so he is clearly one of the front runners. And look, you're the president of the Brooklyn borough.
Right.
You're not an insignificant player in this race, no matter what. And but as I think Ronald Reagan said, or someone else, that if you're explaining, you're losing. Yep. So apparently he's been spending all of the last 24 hours trying to explain that he doesn't actually live in New Jersey.
Oh, he's lost. He's lost. He's lost.
My man.
It's over. It's over. If people think he lives in Jersey, he's done.
And if you got to explain, well, so they said his longtime partner, they share an apartment that is in Fort Lee, New Jersey. He says, I don't live there. My partner lives there. I just occasionally do all my Zoom meetings from there, like mayoral forums.
This reminds me of Milton Street. When Milton Street decided to run for mayor again last time, and when he decided to run, there was an issue because I guess his girlfriend lived in Jersey. And, he had a property here in Philly, and it got to the point that I think, if I remember this correctly, people were checking the water department records to see how often he flushed his toilet.
Oh, wow. You're kidding.
No. I mean, was it him or somebody? I mean, it was the issue that one of the politicians, there was a question about whether they actually lived in Philly or not. So they went to the Philadelphia, they were going to get water department records to determine how many times they flushed the toilet. There was a race by that. So, I mean, there's this issue, I mean, especially for Philly folk and New York City folk about whether they live in Jersey. Like, because a lot of folk actually have places in Jersey and also have places in Philadelphia at the same time.
Wow, that's like crazy. Well, look, all right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, as promised, we got to talk about this a local story of a police officer who deleted video, but forgot to delete his own video of him deleting the video.
Oh, that's not good.
He got caught deleting the video of a person who recorded him doing something he shouldn't have been doing, but he caught it on his own body cam video, which he forgot to delete. I hate when that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
He'll probably get a promotion. We'll be right back. This is the Power Hour. Don't go anywhere. Hit the share button.
Jefferson Health offers no-cost COVID-19 testing sites at St. Raymond of Pinafort Church. Testing is on Thursdays and Saturdays. A second testing location has been added at Richard Allen Preparatory Charter School. Testing is on Wednesdays and Fridays. For testing hours and more information, visit jeffersonhealth.org/community testing.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life. And it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Tune in this Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. for the Islam Today show, with a perspective on moral guidance and Islamic principles and values.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. We're here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news happenings around Philadelphia and, of course, our opinions. And we have plenty of those. Hey, just wanted to give a quick shout out to Nikki O'Tim, Alex H., and all those people that are checking us out over on YouTube today. We often talk a lot about Facebook, but we want to get some of our YouTube family in there. And there's quite a few of you out there watching today. So if you can, just reach out and just say hello so we know that you're out there. And just to let folk know, because people don't realize this, I go into YouTube through my Society for Faith and Justice account. So if you see Society for Faith and Justice, that's me on there. So just to let you know that. And anyway, let me just say this one other thing before we go, just talking about politics for a minute. Yesterday, there was a new, a couple days ago, was a new Republican candidate for governor in New Jersey, Sia Triveli, I believe his last name.
Chitterelli?
Whatever, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so his claim to fame in running against Governor Phil Murphy, who happens to be very popular right now, is that Phil Murphy's not a Jersey guy. That's his whole campaign, because Murphy was born in New England and not born in New Jersey, and Chitterelli has been around Jersey all of his life, and so that's going to be the guy that really handled COVID for the northeast part of the country. In partnership with Andrew Cuomo, this is what he's going to run his campaign on. It's actually quite frightening.
Yeah, I saw his campaign boils down to it's time to elect somebody from New Jersey.
Yes.
What's your qualifications? I'm from Jersey. It's like, well, you are running for the governor of Jersey, so that's kind of a given. No, but I'm like really from Jersey.
Yes. Problematic, very problematic.
I don't see a problem for Phil Murphy. Phil Murphy's really popular.
He'll be fine. I mean, he's leading unless something deep happens, some deep undercover thing comes up, he'll be fine. He'll be easily reelected. But I remember when I ran for council in Norristown, literally had this woman walk up to me. She said, "I like you, but I can't vote for you." And I'm like, well, why can't you vote for me? It wasn't even in the primary. This is I was running for Norristown Council general election. She's like, because you're from Philly. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, that's like crazy.
Yeah, man. But literally, she walked up to me. I'm standing outside the polling place, and she turns to me and says, "I like you, but I can't vote for you because you're from Philadelphia." And I'm like, she's like, and we just need to stop voting all these Philadelphians in the office here. And I was like, wow, okay. I said, well, thank you. My name's Dwayne Royster. Just, if you just happen to change your mind, feel free to put it in. She's like, no, I can't vote for you. And I'm like, wow.
Where's her favorite sport teams from? Norristown? The Norristown Eagles? The Norristown Sixers?
Yeah, nah.
Norristown Phillies and Flyers? Yeah, I don't think
so. The high school sports there were huge. In small towns like that, high school sports are everything.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, but that's like, well, yeah, I was going to say one last thing about Murphy is that Murphy is, so Leslie and I went to a concert at the Apollo about 5 years ago. It was it was like the significant anniversary of the dropping of the album Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim.
Okay, sure.
Oh, man, you talking about a concert. Oh, man. You talking about a concert. Mm-hmm. Everybody and their mama that's in hip hop was on that stage. It must have been like 100 of your favorite rappers on that stage. And all of a sudden, who do they bring out on stage? Phil Murphy, who had just announced that he was a candidate for the governor of Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Up there in New York, by the way, at the Apollo.
You need that New York money to run for Jersey governor.
Well, man, I mean, folk loved him, bro. I mean, like, really. And so, but apparently he's, like, real tight with Eric B. And so Eric B brought him on stage and just hyped him up. And
Phil Murphy's tight with Eric B?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, and I want to say, Leslie can tell me if I'm right about this. I almost want to say that he even rapped a little bit.
Wow.
I can't remember that part.
He's trying to do a Bill Clinton. Go on Arsenio and play the tenor saxophone.
Well, he got elected. So I'm just saying, he's got like some serious
scandals.
Look, you got the hip hop community with you. It's all good. So I'm just looking at some of these comments. My Facebook froze for a minute, and Raphael, everybody has to have insurance, Rev. No, not everybody. That's why the people you hit or who hit you and then take off, they don't have it. Nick says that Trump kept that ring in his back pocket. So I guess we were both right. Marco Rubio was kissing the ring, and I said it was somewhere else.
Let me clarify again. I do not want the station to get an FCC violation. So I said they was kissing the ring. He was kissing the ring.
That was in Trump's back pocket.
Yeah, well,
The location of the ring. It's just he had to kiss the ring. I'm just telling you what Nick said. The FCC, you can take it up with him. He's on evening words, afternoon/evening words.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So man, in Philadelphia, in March, a police officer, black cop, I believe too, pulls over a young guy, gets frustrated during the traffic stop, and yanks him out the car. It's kind of standard operating procedure with police in America. Wow. Hey, if you're black, you've been driving long enough, you've got that story. You're talking to the cop, he's like, get out the car. Well, why do I have to get out the car? Get out the car. Why do you want me out the car? Here's my stuff. All right, you young punks, open your door, snatch you out the car. Stop me when I'm lying, okay? And so fortunately for the young guy, Mr. Giddings, he starts recording at a certain point. The cop gets him out, puts him in his squad car, apparently, and then Mr. Giddings' attorney is accusing the officer of deleting Mr. Giddings' cell phone footage. His phone is still in the car. It was unlocked. Now, the video shows what appears to be the officer, Burnett, I believe, doing what he's been accused of. Looking at the guy's phone, why, I don't know, going through it, finding how to delete it. Let's just say they are hands attached to the body of a person with a body cam. It's going to be up to a judge and jury to decide if those were Officer Burnett's hands. But what we do know as a fact is that there are hands that are deleting the video that was just taken from my man's phone. So the officer in question now is on restrictive duty, according to Commissioner Outlaw. And again, Philly being Philly, I don't know. He may be commissioner one day.
Wow.
Because I'm certain
So his own body cam caught him, deleting the video off of the person that he had pulled out of the car's phone.
Yes, allegedly. And but I mean, look,
allegedly, he got it on camera. I know.
Yeah,
I know. His body,
his body camera. Now, here's the funny thing. In Philadelphia right now, the way the policy is written for body cam cut footage is that unless they changed it from when they initiated it, the officers at the end of their shift get to go back and look at it before they turn their final report in for the day. So he could have looked at it and said, oh, what appears to be me deleting his footage was me accidentally deleting his footage as I was trying to find his emergency contacts.
That was good. See, you just gave a cop a out right there. You just gave them the ability to make up some BS.
I'm sorry, police. Forget you just heard that.
Okay. So he's on administrative leave right now, or
no, restrictive duty. Restrictive duty.
So he's in cop hell right now. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it does not need to be on the street, evidently, because if you're afraid of people seeing what you do, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Just to cure, just the thing. If you don't think it's okay to pull people out of their cars and you have to delete the video, then you probably should not be pulling people out of their cars like that. That actually happened to me in Jersey years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was going up to Massachusetts, and I was driving my car, and admittedly, I was exceeding the speed limit by a lot. Close over on City Avenue. I saw them when they saw us. So literally, we got off Lincoln Drive. We were driving up City Avenue. 4 young black guys. I was in my 20s at the time. I was driving a Dodge Dynasty, and literally, as we are passing this cop, I turned to them, and we're not even breaking the speed limit. I said, "This guy's gonna pull us over." He followed us for 3 miles. Wow. 3 miles, and eventually turned his lights on. He had backup come, 3 other cop cars, 6 cops, guns drawn on all of us. And what was bad, eventually made us get out of the car. We got back into the car, but when the cop came to bring me all my paperwork back, they had all taken off their badges.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice move.
They took off their badges. I called the station, and they were like, "We don't have any record of this."
Well, the Philly move now is you just put black tape over your name and your badge number.
Oh, is that what they do now? Okay.
Oh yeah, they did a lot during the protest last year, and so we confronted them on it. That they said, "Oh, this is in memorial for fallen officers."
You don't put it over the name; you just put it over the badge. It goes across the top of the badge.
No.
That's some crazy stuff, man.
So they learned. They probably the ones today learned it from your experience. Took their badges off, bro.
Yep.
In Kobe Bryant land, as Robert said.
Yes.
You said Lower Merion?
Yeah, they took their badges off. Took the nameplates and their badges off. Yep. Then they came back to the car and brought me my paperwork. And I'm like, for real? Because I had my clergy collar on. They had me on the side of the road in my clergy collar.
Yeah.
That wasn't cool. I mean, and it's not even about respectability politics. It was just like, I was a black man in America. I was a young black man in America. I shouldn't have been driving the car that I was driving, evidently. And they felt like pulling us over. But anyway, Nikki O'Tim and Alex H say from on YouTube that the insurrection was on camera. Yeah, you're right. And the insurrection was on camera, and we have a whole revisionist history about people exercising their First Amendment rights, and there was no insurrection. It was just a protest with 5 people dead. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The alleged insurrection.
It's not alleged. It's not alleged.
Oh man, I mean, well, but this is so again for the people who think that we make too much of this. This was a simple traffic stop, and so while certainly what brings people into the streets by the millions, are the most egregious of these acts that have been caught on body cam that typically leave someone, dead or paralyzed, like Jacob Blake. That there are so many of these smaller, by comparison, incidents, but nonetheless just as deeply traumatic. So, I mean, fortunately for this guy, he got an attorney. They are suing the city and the police department, and I think they have a good case. The city would be wise to just settle and just keep it moving. But, the ways in which I continue to go back to what, late Supreme Court justice in the 1800s said, black people have no rights that a white man is bound to, to recognize or to honor. And whether that's a white man or someone operating on their behalf, in this case, a black cop, that when you talk about the Fourth Amendment right to not experience unreasonable search and seizure, that apparently doesn't mean anything to us.
That's right.
Right? It's like, get out of your car. Why? You don't have a right to take me out of the car. You want my information? Here we are. If there's a problem, we can go to the next step. You have no right to yank me out of the car and then delete my video. I mean, this is what we go through. I had I didn't tell you about this, a young guy that I've known for years, since I've known his family since he was, before he was 10 years old, who is now a young, an older teenager, fresh out of high school, was arrested this week. I won't go into all the details, but was arrested arguing with his girlfriend. Cops picked him up Monday night. Mom couldn't talk to the mom, couldn't get a phone call to the lawyer until Wednesday morning.
Oh, wow.
She's freaking out what's going on. $50,000 bail that he was able to at least just sign on, but still, so they didn't have to exchange any money, but $50,000 bail for a misdemeanor simple assault. That, from the attorneys I've spoken to, it's going to be tossed out anyway. They're like, there's really no case, because the girlfriend's there with the mom trying to get him out. Like, what are you all doing? There's nothing going on.
They were having an argument. People arguing.
Yeah. Well, he's black and his girlfriend's white. That may have something to do with it. And the officers who showed up were 6 white guys. Now, I mean, I'm sorry, Mike. Maybe I'm making this into a racial thing. I don't know. I don't know. But you help me understand, yeah. $50K.
$50,000.
And he had to spend over 36 hours in jail.
Right. We actually should do a study on sometime about how the criminal justice system is actually bankrupting African American communities.
Right.
And this needless arrest and trials and, being incarcerated and jailed in preparation for how that is continually a part of the problem of bankrupting the African American community. If we're over policed and over arrested and over jailed, all that stuff costs money.
Right.
That costs a lot of money.
Yep. So what did it cost us to house a young man for 36 hours for a misdemeanor that, again, is going to be tossed?
Right. And how much, court time, jail time, how much police overtime is being made for them to go testify in court about a case that they know is going to get thrown out?
Yeah, that's a great,
because they get to go and sit and wait and just get overtime while they're sitting there waiting to go testify in court. So they make money, and it's the same person that they're arresting who's also paying taxes into the system that's paying for them to be able to get this money. I'm just saying.
Right. And everybody can't call somebody like you or me that knows some people who can try to expedite this and get this moved on. And so you have literally thousands of stories like the one I just said that happened in this city and other major cities across the United States every single day. And yet you have people who tell us that we're making everything into a racial deal. So if the roles are reversed and this is a young white guy arguing with his black girlfriend and the cops show up, no punches have been thrown, no hands have been put on each other. They're just arguing. It is, hey, you guys knock it off. You go home, don't make us come back. And that's the end of the story. It's 6:42. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, let's continue this conversation.
Olaniyan Adefume's goal is to assist families and students that are tired of the destructive input by the coronavirus. If you are interested in a math tutor, Olaniyan is offering small, reasonably priced classes that will focus on the PSSA test. Classes start June 21st. The students will have lessons, tests, homework, and a textbook to keep with PSSA exercises and explanations. Knowledge is power. Call Olaniyan Adefume, 215-678-3830 for pricing information and location.
Welcome Black. It's time to reawaken, reopen, and renew as WURD kicks off our annual 4WURD Early Bird Membership Special. We have stood together every step of the way during the pandemic. Here at WURD, our hosts and producers, elders, parents, children, teachers, doctors, and community leaders stood up, shared resources, and supported each other through the airwaves, virtual events, and of course, the phone lines. We've stayed connected by every means necessary. Let's welcome the new season, the reopening of the city, and our new normal together. Stand with WURD. Join us Friday, June 11th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our first In the Community broadcast in over a year as we broadcast live from Fresh Grocer, 4160 Monument Road. It's WURD Radio back in the community. Start or renew your sustaining 4WURD membership for the special discounted price of $75 or if you just want to support the work we're doing, there is now an option to become a digital 4WURD member for as little as $5 per month. Visit wordradio.com/earlybird between now and June 19th to take advantage of our early bird discounted membership special.
Greetings, this is Paula Peebles, inviting you to join Philadelphia Nan at the Legacy Living History Makers honoring Malcolm Jenkins, Michael Hand, Judge Thomasine Tynes, Michael Kennedy, Reverend Toon, and Dr. Emma Chappelle on Saturday, June 12th at 2 o'clock p.m. at the Victorian, 4809 Germantown Avenue. For more information, go to phillynan.org.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Smart Mouth, the only 24-hour mouthwash with twice daily use. Now looking at 95 southbound, Savali picks up Cotman down the bridge. Again, Betsy Ross down through Girard through the construction zone, northbound side. You're going to find delays in the area of the Girard Point Bridge. Emergency construction is the reason there. Now, Schuylkill Expressway eastbound, Blue Route to the curve, again, Montgomery through Girard, busy westbound. A little slow, Broad to Pass Young through that construction zone. Southbound Boulevard delays, Broad to Fox beginning to pick up there. 55 north, slow, Deptford in the 42. There's nothing that'll scare your date away faster than bad breath. Luckily, Smart Mouth mouthwash has got your back for 24 full hours with 2 rinses a day. Find Smart Mouth in the mouthwash aisle at CVS or visit smartmouth.com to find a retailer near you. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD Radio weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Steven Sosna.
Good Thursday morning. Still a muggy feel to the air as you walk out the door. Temperatures will get up to about 80 degrees by lunchtime, and we'll see a partly sunny sky. This afternoon, that's when we get the real treat. Plunging humidity levels, a nice breeze, and a temperature of 82. Will be a great evening outside. Tonight, overcast with drizzle forming toward morning, low temperature 61. Friday, on and off light rain, drizzle, chilly 69 degrees. We'll warm things back up on Saturday. A beautiful start to the weekend with a high of 80. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Steve Sosna.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. Dwayne Royster and Mark Kelly Tyler. Hey, WURD family, we're back outside for the first time since the pandemic. Join us on Friday, June 11th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Fresh Grocer on Monument Road for our Reawaken, Reopen, and Renew event, where you can join and renew your 4WURD membership for the discounted early bird rate of $75. For more information, go to wordradio.com. We look forward to seeing you on Friday. So don't forget to check us out, Fresh Grocer on Monument Road from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Some of your favorite hosts will be out there hanging out, and you get to check in with folk and see what's going on.
Boom. So it's like all these shows, it seems like by the time we get to this point in the morning, things kind of start to become thematic, you know. And so whether it's the young man having his rights taken as his phone is being gone through by a cop and video deleted illegally, whether it's this young guy I talked about who gets picked up and spends 36 hours in jail for arguing with his girlfriend, or whether it's, about dirt bikes and ATVs, which will be coming up, soon today in discussion, about what are we going to do? How do we crack down? And, what we need is more enforcement. I mean, if I had trust in the police department to do this in the right way, I would probably be in full support of it. But the reason I can't support it is unless you have a different police force that's going to come and do it, then you all can't do basic things right. You can't come in between two teenagers arguing and handle that right. You can't do simple traffic stops right. And now I'm going to trust you to tackle hundreds, well, actually, let's be honest, thousands of young, black men in particular who are riding dirt bikes and ATVs up and down the streets, and we tell you take the gloves off and crack down. I mean, does anybody really want to see the second coming of Frank Rizzo? Have you seen the video of the way that they stopped and strip searched the Black Panthers in the 60s? Because I'm gonna tell you, that's what you're asking for. And in this climate where a lot of these cops have a lot of repressed anger, they're upset because they think everybody is against them and they can't do what everybody else used to do. No, I'm not in favor of letting them take the gloves off because they can't handle what they already have the ability to do.
Right.
And so I do think, yes, we need to do something. We need to address it. I don't know. How about starting by talking to people who ride the dirt bikes in these forums?
Yep.
And see but I just don't, the ways in which we are going about policing today in this city in particular, where we're giving jobs back to people that posted hateful things about others on social media, and somehow they're supposed to be entrusted. We trust them with our safety. I'm sorry, bro. But the trust is so eroded that I think, you need to worry about that. And if you get back to real policing, like stopping serial killers from murdering people, you could do that if you're not spending all your time with these frivolous, things that you're doing right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So the fact of the matter is, we're not white enough to get that attention.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's why you can have frivolous conversations about ATV riders and dirt bike riders in the midst of a gun violence pandemic. Because it's you're able to do that because you're white, and people will jump and want to meet your needs. But you got a gun violence epidemic, and I don't see anybody rushing to create the gun violence commission. I mean, I know. Let me just say that Councilman Kenyatta Johnson and others are working on this issue, so I don't want to say that. But I don't see the white council people leading on this, championing on this, talking about this. They're worried about ATV riders. And like you said, all they're really doing is setting up a bunch of young people to beat up by the police.
And look, and let's not talk, so let's put our Bernie Sanders hat on for a moment. It is also deeply about class, because I got to imagine if some poor white folk from Kensington or Frankfurt called in and had the similar complaint, they ain't gonna get much attention either. Right. But it's like a particular group of people in the city, raised the alarm, and all of a sudden, this is the biggest thing that we have to deal with. Not the budget, not the gun violence problem, not the schools, but it's like stop everything because some people can't sleep at night. You know what?
The oligarchs.
Bro, poverty won't let you sleep at night. You ever been poor?
Ever had your lights shut off, your gas shut off, your water shut off, you trying to make it one day to the next? Come on now.
Come on, I'm just saying. So it's like, that, and this is, so again, it helps make the argument for what, we at Power Live Free continue to say about what needs to happen with policing. So when you hear me say defund, what it means is that, you take those valuable resources that you have right now that we're wasting and basically paying people to harass, just regular citizens and go out of their way of deleting their video footage. You don't need as many of those kind of people on the streets. Those are quality of life kind of situations. What we need is an enforcement around issues like, I don't know, serial killers. Catching them the first time they kill, not after they've killed 5 or 6 people, and you start thinking, maybe there's a connection. You know? So if you have a smaller force that is dedicated to that part, and if you take the rest of the resources and pour it into the community and pour it into people who can actually mitigate a lot of these issues, for example, if there's a dirt bike problem and you have a department that is about community resolution, bringing these communities together to talk about, you know, helping dirt bikers understand the impact that you're having on neighborhoods that maybe they can't see, bringing them in contact and in conversation and finding community-driven resolution, as opposed to thinking that you're going to always arrest your way out of everything. That is what has led to a mass incarceration state, the new Jim Crow, and you don't need Michelle Alexander to tell you that.
So I have got the solution. So what they need to do is project how much it's going to cost them over the next couple of years to pull down, chase bikers, go to court, pay for public defenders, the lost wages. That means that's also lost tax revenue coming into the city of Philadelphia. They need to figure out how many hundreds of millions of dollars that is, and they need to go build the ATV bike park on a few hundred acres of land that Philadelphia's got somewhere around, and that will save us some money.
I just think, like you said, I mean, look, that and bringing people in conversation.
Well, I think the conversation piece is really important, right? I think, you know, and the bikers actually are in clubs. A lot of them are in, like, the dirt bike clubs. So there's a club culture there. So there's leadership, there are people to talk to in that space to kind of figure it out. But, I mean, I think part of what you're going to hear is that y'all don't give a space for us to be able to ride our bikes.
Hey, and let's stop just taking the worst example of what happens and make it, you know, everybody's like, we're afraid. Have you seen the video of the young guy with the cinder block busting the car window out? I'm like, yes, I saw that. And so that's one instance. And so all of a sudden we're going to label all dirt bikers that way.
Wait a minute. But a dude drove a car into a woman in Charlottesville and killed her. Are we now all of a sudden saying, oh, my God, we can't let white people drive cars? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
Because that's the logical conclusion that one would come upon, right?
I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're going to say that the black folk did this because they were riding dirt bikes, well, then we have to stop all white people from driving cars.
Right. That's right. And so, yes, so some people use dirt bikes in the commission of crimes, like they use
people
cars.
Use cars in commissions of crimes. They use trucks in the commission of crimes.
They use sneakers.
Yes.
I mean, they don't do it in, like, Bally's or whatever people are wearing hard-sole shoes these days. They use things they can run away in. So we can't, I mean, again, let's focus on what the real issue is here versus the instruments that people necessarily use. Hey, sneakers don't kill people. People kill people.
There we go.
All right, bro.
Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you for hanging out with us early this morning here on the Power Hour. Thank you, Dr. Tyler, for everything that you do. Thank you for Quasar for holding down the boards. Thank you, everybody that listened to us on the air, through the app, through Alexa. Alexa, turn on WURD Radio. Thank you to everybody that has been commenting on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to continue this conversation. Stay tuned now for Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones. And family, do us a favor. Go out, change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
A bullet in my gun.